a convicted felon. How do you go on the debate stage and look at your opponent and say, you're a felon, and then have your son, who's a felon, in these meetings? That argument is dead now. Here's Jill Biden making the case. She says that he is in it to win it. Watch.
Joe has made it clear that he's all in. That's the decision that he's made. And just as he has always supported my career, I am all in too. As Commander-in-Chief, President Biden wakes up every morning ready to work for you. That's what this election is all about. You. For all the talk out there about this race, Joe has made it clear that he's all in.
Yeah, she said he supported my career, so I'm going to support him. If he's all in, I'm all in. And she's on the campaign trail. She's very ambitious. Yesterday alone, she was in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And Kevin McCarthy was interviewed about what is he seeing? What is he seeing behind the scenes? And he said she's actually the one who calls the shots. Listen.
Jill out there, she's a hard campaigner. I will tell you, it's much different of why I know that they're going to stay in this race. Jill doesn't want to leave either. Many times when we had meetings in the Oval Office, Jill was there as well. Many times, I don't think she's there for policy. I think she's there to give him comfort and direct the meetings.
Had a guest on that was talking about this. At what point does it become elder abuse? It's clear he doesn't know certain things are happening.
Something that I noticed when she was walking from the coffee shop to the car, when she was out on the campaign trail yesterday, a reporter, a female reporter, we couldn't see her face, was yelling, saying, what do you think about these House Democrats calling for your husband to drop out? And she didn't answer, and she's walking to the car, and then she finally turns to the reporters who scream questions at them all the time. I've never seen this reaction from her. She says, why are you screaming at me? You know me. Don't scream at me. Let me talk. But then she didn't talk.
Right.
Here she is telling the reporters this. But it's very telling to me. She didn't answer the question, but it's very telling. She normally doesn't stop and talk to the reporters, but to me, it seemed like she is so tired of everyone asking her and putting pressure on her that in that moment, she turned to them and she just snapped in a way.
Well, listen, I think ultimately for the Bidens, it is an existential threat to their survival, because I think Joe thinks as well as he can that if he's not president, he can't protect his family.
Exactly.
And he knows.
You're talking about Hunter?
Well, you know what? He knows, and we've heard this from the Hunter team, that they feel like Republicans, if they could, would go after Hunter.
Melania Trump just savagely torched Joe Biden in an interview. Now, it's rare for the former First Lady to talk to the media about pretty much anything related to her husband, Donald Trump. But it's now come to our attention that there's a very specific reason as to why we don't see them together. We don't see her together with Donald Trump during his campaigns or speaking engagements. Former White House Press Secretary and Chief of Staff Stephanie Grisham has said that Melania is very much different from First Lady Jill Biden. So according to Grisham, Melania has been quoted in saying that she doesn't need to hold up Donald Trump the same way that Jill Biden does have to hold up President Joe Biden. Now that's gotta hurt a little bit. So First Lady Jill Biden has been seen as the constant voice behind the president, the one woman who's been urging him to run for re-election. And it's pretty clear that she wants this so much more than the president does. In fact, she went to 3 states within the span of like a day in order to assure voters that the president is all in for November. Can you believe that, guys? The First Lady? That's probably the most active First Lady we've seen in a very long time. So Jill Biden went to North Carolina, Florida, and even Georgia just to tell people that Joe Biden is fine and that there's nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here, folks.
For all the talk out there about this race, Joe has made it clear that he's all in. That's the decision that he's made. And just as he has always supported my career, I am all in too. And with 4 more years, Joe will continue to fight for you, the military community that he, that we are humbled and proud to call our own. This is personal to us. We know what it's like to wait to connect on a lagging phone call from across the world, to smile through another holiday with an empty chair at the table. Let me ask you this. Does Donald Trump know what it's like? He disparages those who sacrificed for this country. His own chief of staff said he called POWs and those who died in war losers and suckers. Yes. Said he didn't want to be seen with injured veterans because it didn't look good for him. It's disgraceful. But it's not surprising. Donald Trump wakes up every morning thinking about one person and one person only, himself. The military community deserves better. You deserve a commander-in-chief who serves with integrity and wisdom and character. And that's my husband, Joe Biden.
Many voters are not convinced because she's not running for president. Joe is. And it's weird that the president needs his wife to campaign in his absence when he should have the energy to do so himself. Now, all of this is not helped by a recent report from the White House that has created more questions about the mental health of President Joe Biden. It's now at a point where White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is now running out of excuses. I mean, look at the chaos that's happening between her and the press.
The doctor, his physician, his name is Dr. O'Connor, he sent this letter, this memo out explaining why Dr. Kevin Kennard, this neurologist, why he was there.
From
and
Walter
he said,
Reed.
he said he's a great doctor. He's from Walter Reed. He's one of the best. And he said he has been there for his annual physicals. Well, he's had 3 annual physicals, obviously one every year since he's been president. But the question is, what about the other 5 visits in the last 8 months? Why was he there those 5 times?
So yesterday during the briefing room, this is when all hell broke loose. Let's watch it.
Could you state, like, very clearly, yes or no, was that expert here to participate in anything surrounding the care of the President of the United States?
So let me just say a couple of things. We have had a comprehensive, and I just want to take another step back, comprehensive physical examination. The President has had that. We've given a comprehensive report. Wait, hold on, wait a second.
8 times, or at least once.
There's no reason to go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps about him.
We certainly could clear this all up just by saying what he was doing here and if it was connected to the president, yes or no?
I am not going to confirm.
Why don't you have a cognitive test just to rule out that there are any issues?
The neurologists have said it is not warranted. The president himself, he said it today, he said it multiple times. I just want to take a step back for a second. Sometimes I don't have the information, and I will always admit that. But I do take offense to what was just happening at the beginning of this briefing. It's not okay.
Now, let me be clear that she did not make anything clear for us regarding the president's health. And who gave the president the right to waive any neurological tests just on his say-so? Because that's what Karine is trying to say to us, that he decided himself that he was fine and that there's no need to test him. And yet they kept this information a secret from the White House Press Secretary Corps. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you. Thank you so much, as always, for subscribing and sharing this video. You guys are awesome. But think about it, guys. This is why they're so pissed about it, because they don't want the public to think that, you know, they're in on this thing too. Because remember that mainstream media has been touting about the president being sharp as a tack. Y'all remember that, right? Only for him to embarrass himself on CNN of all networks. And this doctor that visited the president 8 times in 8 months is an expert on Parkinson's disease. Now, to think that the president together with Joe Biden had to have this guy visit that many times, it's alarming. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you had a doctor visit from a Parkinson's specialist? Unless, of course, you have Parkinson's disease. Yeah, I thought so. And the White House isn't sharing very much information because according to Corinne, it's all for security reasons. Well, we know all of the names of these people. It's not hard to Google a doctor's name, right? So who is she trying to protect? Critics obviously point to the president, who they believe is much sicker than we are all led to believe. And so now Dr. Kevin O'Connor has tried to silence the back and forth by essentially sharing some information about the president's tests. He said that there were no findings which would be consistent with any type of cerebellar or other central neurological disorder such as stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or even ascending lateral sclerosis. Which opens up another question. Why are they giving him these specific tests? Which brings me to what the president himself is saying in a letter to congressional Democrats. President Joe Biden shot down any chance of him stepping down voluntarily. And while he admitted that he understands the fears that have grown from his embarrassing debate performance, he still believes that the American people deserve him as a president. He says that he received over 14 million votes, which is 87% of the votes cast across the entire nominating process. He says that he's the presumptive nominee of the Democratic Party by a wide margin. This means that the voters chose him to go against Donald Trump. He says the voters should have a say, and they're saying that they want him to run for re-election in November. The president feels obligated to do this for the American people, so he's essentially saying that everyone who voted for him should be commended for him staying in the race, and that he went through the right process to become the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party. But this is after we've all been lied to. We were told that he was of sound mind and that he's up for the job. However, he, along with many top Democrats like former President Barack Obama, admitted that he performed terribly during this debate. But he's coming out of the gate and telling his own party, you guys are stuck with me whether you like it or not. So what do you guys think about that? And how do you feel that the president didn't even watch his own debate back with Trump? Now, I did a previous video where I talk about this in more detail. I also show the blatant lies that are being told straight to our faces. So it's best you guys check that one out. But as always, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for hitting the like button and subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.